Hey everybody. Hey George. Hey John. Hey Kayleen. Jason. Ray. Prosperity Pub. That's interesting. Welcome. How's it going, everybody? If you're new here, just make sure that you let me know that you're new so I can welcome you to the channel. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button right here, right here, right here, this green button. Hit the button so you can chat on the stream. If you're having trouble with that, I don't know, try a different browser, try a different app, whatever it might be, and we'll get you on there best we can. There's no blacklist or anything like that. It's literally a button I click on the stream that says "Let subscribers chat." So, General Rush, good to see you, sir. Francois, good to have everybody. I got started just a second early, or a minute early, so just wanted to let everybody get in here and welcome everybody. Uh-oh, Kimberly's here. I was going to talk about her Valentine's Day present, but she's here, so we got to be quiet. Anyway, not new. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, it was like the Mardi Gras massacre in the market today, looked like. So, happy Mardi Gras, everybody. Big down. I guess relative big down. It wasn't that big, really, I guess. Was down pressure all day long, and we'll talk about it. We have PPI coming up later in the week. That's Producer Price Index. We had the CPI this morning, which is the excuse for dropping. And do you call it a pullback or do you call it a crash? I think it was a pullback. It wasn't really a crash. But we may lead into a crash. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what we might be setting up. Hey, David. I was going to say, I don't recognize your name, so welcome. Welcome, new David. Tara, Mary, welcome everybody. Anyway, that's kind of the highlights, and all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. Just because I said something before and it came true doesn't mean I'll ever get it right again. This presentation here is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. Is not a recommendation to be buying or selling anything, financial instrument or otherwise. All right? Don't buy stocks, don't buy options, don't buy bonds, don't buy Forex, don't buy futures, don't buy cryptos. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. It's a substantial risk of loss. And this extends beyond just trading. Like, don't buy stuff from financial gurus. You know, people like me. Don't buy stuff unless you trust them. All right? Make sure you trust the people that you're doing business with. Don't just believe a sales hype thing just because they put it together in a fancy sales hype. I actually I was watching my YouTube channel to make sure I trimmed out the goof up with the mic this morning, and an infomercial came up. I was like, oh, let's see what this is. It was like an hour and a half long, and there was so much bull crap in there. Oh my gosh. I was just like, what? And then it leads to like this $49 thing where you're gonna buy for $49. They're gonna give you these 5 pivotal technology changing reports or whatever. I don't know, whatever they called it. It was so goofy. And Kimberly got me the funny thing about that, I was just about to order a $6,000 computer. Mark, brand new i9 14900K with a 4080 GPU and 4 terabyte or two terabyte M2 drives, and so I could do some AI work. But hey. I actually had that up in the other room, like right before I came in here. I was like, that's like $6,000 out the door. But I did buy a file server yesterday, 64 terabyte file server. So got to put all the videos somewhere. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Pretty good. Glad to see you. So look at this. Not CubeSmart, but this right here. An ad on top of an ad. Down to 51. That's the S5FI. Why is it on here? Because it's a live chart. Like, they update this all day. Whereas TradingView, it takes them a few minutes after 5 to update it. So, anyway. How's it going, everybody? So, S5FI. Yeah, see, it's not updated on TradingView yet. Rose was kicking off the alert in crypto power plays. If you hadn't bought yet, maybe you ought to consider it. If you didn't watch my webinar this week, So remember Valentine's Day tomorrow. If you don't have your sweetheart in mind, well, maybe you ought to do something. You got it till tomorrow. Don't forget. Don't forget. Anyway, glad to be here with everybody. Looks like 100 of my closest friends are here. That's what I like to see. My closest pals. All right, so S5, there it goes. It just updated. Did you see that? Slick. I told you a few minutes after 5. So it is a daily update thing. That's why it's got this little E for end of day. Wait till the close and then they update it. So 51.6. Looks like we're on the trend. I mean, I drew it back here. Finally, the S&P 500 was actually dropping while the S5FI was dropping. But we still saw some ridiculous stuff like SMCI was pushing right back up. Buy the dip, baby. Just ludicrous stuff, man. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is going to end so poorly. I even saw people today like, don't short Nvidia. That's the stupidest trade ever. Well, in the right time frame, it's not that bad a trade, probably. I mean, look at this baby. Right up to the target, the ultimate target. Now, I want to show you something else. Would you short that? And don't pay attention to the numbers over here. Would you short that? I mean, that looks like a dumpster fire, right? Don't mess with it, but there's not much downside left when you do that. Would you short it? That looks like it's going to bounce, doesn't it? I mean, looks like the juice is already gone. So, I would be very careful. That's what I got to say. Be very, very careful. Look at that. Could it go lower? Sure. Sure. Be careful. Be careful. Where's Rose right now? On the crypto exchange. Right there. It's right there. Pulling back a little bit. Pulling back a little bit. There you go. That's Rose for you. Right at the top. Trying to push through the resistance zone. We gotta move up out of there and go on higher. Anyway. Nice little pullback, but this looks a lot like an echo from before. Look at that. You can measure this right there. Watch out for the bounce. See that right there? See it right there? And right there. It's entirely possible. That was it. And we just do this. $51.50. That's what I've been talking about. Watch out. We don't have to stop going up. Like, I'm telling you, this thing can keep being ridiculous. This could just be the start of ridiculous. We can do this. We can do that. Well into the late part of the year. Just be like, ooh, and we get really crazy. All right. So, don't think that we can't get even crazier than we've been. I mean, right there, we were rolling about 70 days from a 2% decline. Today, what did we do? 1.37. So, not even a 2. Not even. Be careful out there, all right? We can explode higher. It doesn't have to drop. It can keep on trucking. Keep on trucking. And like I said, we have the... Wait a minute. Where my news go? Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, there it is. Jumped out of order. So we had CPI come out today, and it came in hot. Somebody, not saying who, thought we would see CPI come in hot to support the narrative of not cutting rates, which maybe Jerome Powell already knew CPI was running hot, because I mean, they all are buddy, right? And later on the week, coming on down here, Friday morning, before the open, we have PPI right there. That's the producer price indexes. That one's just been kind of running flat, actually. So, not expecting big news there. It's just been kind of flat, and 3 flats in a row would be interesting. Because look back through here. When's the last time? I mean, when's any time you see 3 flats, 3 0 prints in a row? There's 2. I don't see any. So, as you can see, producer prices tend to run on the upside, not the downside. So, probably either get a 0.1 or 0.2, maybe a 0.3. It's the most likely. And back here, we were expecting 0.1s, and we got a couple 0.2s, and got a couple 0.3s. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Forecast 0.1. They don't give the year-over-year producer prices. That one we were expecting a 0.1, or I guess previous we got a negative 0.1. We were expecting flat, looks like. And we'll see what we get this time. We'll see. These usually front run, like this ramp we saw in here, front run the CPI going a little nuts. So that's how that works. And then consumer sentiment. Do you have good sentiment? Do you have bad sentiment? It seems to be coming up off the lows. Like this was back here. This is when I said, I went on YouTube. There's a video from back almost 2 years ago where I said we're basically in a recession. And then they redefined what a recession was. But you can kind of see it right there in the consumer sentiment. I mean, now we're working our way back up out of it. We're not back to good times, that's for sure. Might take a little while. See, we went through this. I mean, look, we were down in here. We're lower than in the Great Financial Crisis. See, the consumer sentiment never got as low as it was right down in here. And they're not gonna. I mean, what the heck? What the heck? Even during COVID, we had a higher consumer sentiment than we did right here. Yet this wasn't a recession? Okay, whatever. I think we're coming back out of it. And we may have to get on back higher before they were like, oh yeah, we did a recession. It was back there. You know that time when we redefined the recession? Yeah, that was actually a recession. Now it's all better. Biden fixed it. Right? Stupid. The numbers are, all made up, essentially. All made up. Any questions? We'll see what happens. Those are numbers on Friday. Not a lot happening between. I mean, we got lots of earnings, but tomorrow it's kind of a benign morning for Ash Wednesday. Thursday, another somewhat benign. We get some core retail sales. Those, not really expecting much there. Empire State Manufacturing, that was pretty epically bad. See, that actually is a downtrend. Did we find the bottom there, or is that going to continue? I mean, look, this is, besides COVID, this is one of the worst times. I mean, this is worse than back here, worse than back here. So this is this looks pretty bad for U.S. manufacturing. We're certainly not doing this up here, which is when everybody thinks we're doing pretty good. When we're up top, this is they need to work on fixing that with Joe Biden. Get his manufacturing back on track. It's certainly not booming right there. And unemployment claims, of course, coming out. So not a ton of information here. And let's see. So earnings. If anybody wants to request some of these, wait for the request. Just wait a minute. Don't put the request in yet. Remember, requests will be one per person. Let somebody else go. If you request multiples, I'll skip you. And here's what's coming out right now: Airbnb, Upstart, Robinhood, Lyft, MGM Resorts, Akamai, AIG, Zillow Group, Instacart, EQT. And in the morning, we got Barrick, CME, Hines, Sony, Parsons, Generac, Blackstone. That's what it says, Blackstone. I was like, whoa. Anyway, Williams and Sunoco. So there you go. This is the rest of the week. And NVIDIA scheduled to come out next week on their earnings. So one of the big AI 5, I guess you would say. They're pricing, right now, options are pricing like an $85 move, and the skew is to the upside, which means explosion higher. Yeah, we'll see. All right, give a rundown through. I usually hit these real quick. Right there, so far it's just an echo of a prior pullback. Nothing, no big news here. This looks like an echo, prior pullbacks. You see these same size moves. What am I talking about? Look right here. See that pullback right there? Almost the exact same size as that right there. Even similar to the one right here. See how those are all kind of the same? This one was a little bit bigger. All kind of the same. That's what echoes in the market are. We can get the same kind of results out of an echo. Like that pushed higher. This could push higher once again. We usually favor the more recent ones than the far away ones. Like that puts us right in the target zone, right there about 18.4. We could do that in the next few days. I was lightening up on some of the shorts throughout the day, recycling, book and profit, resetting risk, and we'll see what happens. Russell was not so peachy. That's not an echo. That one looks like it reversed hard. We may see this bounce a little bit and get continuation lower. I do expect this to come on down lower. That was a definite big red candle right off the resistance, which is what I was expecting to happen. My target's down here, and you may be like, how the fudge do you trade RTY? It's just IWM, and same kind of target right down here around 180, 182, 180, somewhere there. If you wanted to ride. Now, what we might see, in fact, is a bounce back up to about this 199 area right in here. You see it bounce right up in there. Like that. And we may see this go down like this. And we may see another little retrace. Don't want to overlap that. And then we may see a final flush out there. Something like that would be what I expect. So that could last. That could last into next month. All right. So be careful. Be careful on it all. And this retrace could go fast, another day or two, and then bigger down, and then usually the first retrace goes fast. The second retrace takes longer, usually 3 times as long. So it's just rough proportions. Not always the same. All right. There you go. April. Maybe. Possibly. The broader market will probably go there, go down with it. So could be 2 weeks, could be April. See what happens. Alrighty, moving on. Oil was kind of strong today in the face of everything else. Looks like we may. I would favor seeing another pullback, but we don't have to. If we break out above this high, this prior high right over here, we're probably going right up here into this 86 to 90 area on oil. That's going to that'll definitely throw a wrench in the inflation works right there. If we go ripping right up here, they're going to have a really hard time controlling the inflation narrative. And that may lead to rates going up again. More rate raises. We may have to raise rates even higher before we actually get to the big problem. The Fed has announced they are not going to extend the bank lending program, the emergency funding facility, in March. There's like umpteen $1 billion borrowed out of it right now, so we'll see how that unfolds here in the coming weeks too. Not looking so good for regional banking. So anyway, Brent is breaking higher. Look at gasoline. Look at that contract rollover. Look at that ridiculousness. Everybody's like, what happened with gasoline? Why did it go up 15 cents, 20 cents? Look at that. That was went from 236 on the February delivery to 261 on the March delivery. And funny enough, the forward contracts expect lower prices on gasoline, but that's not what we're doing. Watch out for gasoline to explode higher. Heating oil, diesel fuel, chopping around a little bit. We've got the next major resistance up here at 320. Probably going to keep trucking on up into that zone right there. And 373, $4 on the upside, and we could go much higher depending on what happens. This actually has a very bullish, bigger pattern cooking here. We could see diesel fuel going way on up. Keeping my eye on this. Keeping my eye on it. I don't even have the log chart turned on. Let's see. Get that off there. Yeah, we're talking about somewhere in 550, possibly 750. That would hurt. I know Rongamer, if he's on here, he's gonna be like, say it ain't so. There you go. That's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot of stuff. That could push us into a recession right there. In fact, that coming together with this, where we could really start the Greater Depression. Hate to say it. That could be this could be what starts the Greater Depression. I've said that for a while. This was not an estimation of time, just kind of drawing. Like last January or February, I drew that out here, and I wasn't trying to draw time. I just drew it big so you could see it. That may end up what happens. It's kind of funny that the blue is kind of ticking up right with the blue I drew. So keep an eye on it. The orange may kind of float sideways here, and then we ramp again. Alrighty. Just throwing it out there. I'm maybe I get it right, maybe I don't. Speculated that over a year ago. I'm going to leave it on the chart until it invalidates or becomes not reality. So, alrighty, and jumping back, I was like, where did my natural gas broke down? Went right for the extension. Look at that. Look how fast that went. Took it like a year to finally break down below the lows, and look how fast that went down. My goodness. That didn't even take any time right there. Now, classic move would be a rally back up to this area right here. Extension. That would be path number one. Door number one. Door number two would be we just blow right on through and go down here. Door number three, sideways and then down. And door number four, we just bounce here and go higher. So that's it's like the 4 classic paths I talk about, just upside down. We're either going to blow through, go down. And how can you trade heating oil? Well, various ways. Go take some barrels down to your local gas station and buy diesel. Crack. This is a good way to play. Or relatively, I think it's a fair way to play. You can see it's already about to break out. I've actually got an alert right there at 36. It's kind of funny. It's called crack, and it's like oil is like crack. Sometimes I think the ETF namers have a sense of humor, or at least the ticker picker. Anyway, this is one of the best ones I've found. You can explore it on your own. So, in fact, it's on my red list here, just down here. Crack. Alrighty. Yeah, summer blend's cheaper, but U.S. manufacturing recovering may call. We're already in the lower 10% of supplies ever. I was showing that last week. If you missed it, go back to Friday on the morning live stream, Morning Monster on Friday. I was talking about the oil supplies and the refining supplies, heating oil and gasoline, diesel fuel and gasoline being in the lower lower band of probability. I can't think of the word here. Anyway, not going to say much though. We could just see gas prices, so the gas prices go skyrocketing and they use it, this is like, Biden controlling gas prices, how he stays in office or doesn't stay in office, more than likely. So we'll see what plays out. We'll see. Gold continuing on the path lower. That would be that pattern looked kind of familiar to everybody. We just kind of drew that same pattern, just same way. Probably going down here, more than likely. Well, we could bottom at this 1950 area or extend on lower. Just depends on how it shapes up at this point. Silver looks like it needs one more flush all the way down here. Has that head and shoulders pattern. We kind of back tested it. Kind of, sort of. Oh, moving the wrong thing. Moving the wrong. There it is. We kind of came up, stopped at the roadmap line. Flush out down here would be kind of what I expect. You'd be like, where did that target come from? Came from right there. So if you're unfamiliar with the head and shoulders pattern, this one isn't the best classic looking pattern, but it does kind of fit. From the head to the neckline is generally when we break the neckline, that's how far we go, and which puts us right down in this general vicinity, right down here at the bottom of the box. So move down to 20-ish on silver futures. You can see I've got my alerts already set up here. That can finish this move and we can go bullish from here. So one big flush, and then we could be on the way to 25 and breaking out 35 probably from there. So copper has been bearish. Goose, he's probably not here, but he's been arguing with me for 2 years that this didn't look that bearish to him, especially this move up right here. But it was a big three-wave corrective move, and this continues to be bearish looking to me. One big flush, lower low than what we made right back here in summer of 22 would clean this thing all up. It can be anywhere down here. Now, the ideal place would be down here at 270. And you may be like, JT, you're full of crap. Never going to happen. Well, several people told me I was full of crap on natural gas, that it was not going below 2. And look how fast we went from 320. We basically cut it in half. Went from 370 to $1.60. All while, this was like the bomb cyclone right here, and then dropped out. Ridiculous. Ridiculous moves sometimes. Not ridiculous calls, just ridiculous moves. I amaze myself sometimes. I've been talking about that one. Like, let me know in the chat if you remember me talking about this for like a year, and now I'm just shocked. Like, I don't even know what to say about it. I'm just shocked I got it. Got the extension. I had it drawn even all the way down here. Just I don't even know. I don't know what to say sometimes. I'm just like, I can't believe it happened. Anyway, moving on. Lumber, corn, pork. If y'all want to talk about it, let me know. Sugar, we can talk about anything. The boss prefers I don't talk about that one. That's the beans, not coffee. Anyway. All right. It is that time where I'm going to take requests. One request per person. If you make multiple requests, I'm going to skip your request. One per person. Let somebody else go, and then you can go again. So that time. And we'll do this for at least 30 minutes, till 6 o'clock at least, probably. And Amazon. That's the first one I see. Well, there's the... We're at the 160. I mean, we're at the top of the 160 area. All the way back down last year, I was talking about how we were going to 160. I thought we'd get there by the summer. The bummer here is that we're still lagging QQQ. When you do this compare thing, you put QQQ on the chart. Look at that. Still underperforming. Still underperforming. From back here at the highs. Still underperforming. It outperformed to the downside and underperformed on the upside so far. I mean, it's kind of been flying parallel. Like if you line it up off the bottom, we've actually been outperforming a little bit because we underperformed, but it depends on where you want to line it up here. So, what do I expect out of Amazon? Not a lot at this point. Do expect a retrace. That would be, it's like a 5-wave up. Retrace would be really nice. That'd be a beautiful place to load up for long term. And I'm talking like mega run higher, but they could just chug higher and meet a top and drop. So there you go. MSTR just chugging on the path. I've been talking about that for weeks. I got in down here late to the party. 800, 900 upside targets, possibly up here at like 1080. Possibly, maybe. We'll see. This last one over here, same pattern. Like this right here, pull back, shot up to the 272. You're like, JT, I don't believe you. Okay, here it is right here. That high, that low. Look at that. 272, 681. Bounced right off the roadmap line, right up to 272. And then we epically dropped. People crying. Oh my gosh. I thought it was going higher. What happened? Well, then we popped up and going on the run. So if we go to the 272 again, that's up here like 180, 1080, excuse me, 1080. 800, 900, more conservative targets. I think my order is at 900, right at the top of the box. Where's the box come from? Over here, where we topped out back here in November 21 before the market took a dump. That's when Bitcoin kind of topped out too. So that would make me nervous. This means this one was hype because Bitcoin made its high here. Where does MSTR get its value? From the 8 billion, well, probably 9 or 10 billion dollars now of Bitcoin that holds. It was like 8 billion when it was at 40,000. Add 25% to that, so it's probably closer to 10 billion worth of Bitcoin now at 50,000. So MSTR makes a lot of money because they have almost 200,000 Bitcoins. And that's basically where the company's value is. They all the rest of their business is whatever. So JetBlue. Yeah, nice pop. That's a 3-wave move. And I should just clear everything. 1, 2, 3. Right in the resistance. So it's a coin flip. And I have to warn, this is under $10. So under stuff under $10 doesn't always work. So upside resistance probably right in here. If you're long, I consider booking profit or protecting profit. That's a 3-wave move, and we can get a bounce and decline. XMR USD. The one, yeah, that looks bad. I was like, that's the one that went down. That looks like a wave 3. Probably gonna get a 5 lower low. Compare the proportion. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that is impulsive to the downside. I would expect a retrace. 3-wave. 1, 2. And that would put it a little high. Probably need to stop somewhere below this one. Top out somewhere right in this vicinity. And if we turn down from there, it's going to go down, lower low. Somewhere lower than this. Could be substantially lower. It would make sense to do that. 74. Alrighty. That's how that works. SMCI is ludicrous. That's what we would say, ludicrous levels, but the ultimate ludicrous level is up here, about 1100. We get to that point, I would buy 800 puts or 700 puts or some kind of puts as long of time as you can afford it. That's probably coming back down. I mean, that looks straight up like, look at this. Look back over here. Let's fly back. Do anybody remember this? Anybody remember this? GME is going to 300. That was, we did have a split in here, so 4 for 1. So the prices were 4 times as much. Just keep it in mind, right? GME is going to 1,000. That was 480, where we topped out. We went from what was $9, I think it was. 4 times 286, right around $9. Up here to about 480. Then what do we do? Never been the same before. But JT, they weren't making AI. This is the way bubbles work, okay? I'm just telling you. You need to be careful chasing SMCI and NVIDIA. It's the same thing I've seen before. Okay, maybe it's not the daily chart. Maybe it's the, like, let's look at a 4-hour chart. We're going to have to turn off extended hours because it's just going to mess with me. Oh, gotta go back in time. There it is. Look at that ridiculous thing. Bubbles are bubbles. Doesn't matter. They almost always pop and come back. I'm not saying that NVIDIA is going back to 150 like it was last, whatever it was. I'm not saying SMCI is coming all the way back down to the bottom. I'm just saying, like, it's going to pay back, you know. There's the last one. Like, oh, it's going on up forever. Well, went all the way back down to 120. And then I bought it at 150, sold out at 300, whatever. And there it goes. Ridiculous levels. Probably going to come back. Would not surprise me to come back into this 300 area, 400 area. All right. There you go. Mora, working on a breakout. This is the conservative buy right in this zone. Although it could fail, it's not getting continuation like we would want. 35, 41 are the upside targets. Would I short this? Would I sell calls against this or anything right now? Heck no. Heck no. That could just be, I mean, I've got way bigger targets. Triple digits. Don't limit this baby. In fact, Bitcoin being ultra strong, like it was down here, hung out down here most of the day, and then rallied right back up as the market closed. I wasn't making any news that I saw, but that one, if it breaks above 52, we could break out and go for the all-time high. All before having coming up over here in April. Right here. Look at this. Look at all this crap they put on here. We're below 10,000 blocks. Countdown's on. Got about 65 days left till we get there. We're on block number 830,268. Looking for block number 840,000. That's the halving event. There's the stats. There's the hash. Wonder what the hash looks like. Right there it is. That's the number. So the difficulty is how many zeros have to be in front of this hash number. So they guess numbers until they get the right number of zeros in front of it. Then everybody authenticates it, and that's the way it works. So that's why it's a guessing game. Like any hash will authenticate a Bitcoin block, but the difficulty has to match in order to get the payout. So then, and the difficulty is based on the padding, which is the number of zeros that precede whatever this last number is. So that's a little bit of nerdiness on how Bitcoin hashing works. And it's just SHA-256. You just run SHA-256 on the transactions, and you keep doing that. And with a seed number, you guess a new seed number until you get the padding. And SHA-256 is unpredictable. Like you can do, the results are like if you SHA-256 0 and you SHA-256 1, it'll be two completely different numbers, and they don't increment by any kind of. And so it's seemingly random for how the SHA-256 ends up. So you have to guess numbers until you find one that has the padding that you need when you hash it against the block to authenticate the transaction. So nerded out way more than you wanted to know. So Bitcoin's being strong into the close or into the all that stuff. Hello. Well, I'm not going to mess with that because that's a dumpster fire right there. Why is it a dumpster fire? Because that first split is going to over my mind. It is something ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Don't touch that. Reverse split, and then they do ridiculous stuff. That's playing with fire. CLSK. It's at the resistance. I would be careful on this one. Very, very careful. This 17 area would be the next upside. Basically retrace the whole way, so watch for that. Could it pop to 22, 25? Yeah, possible. Be careful though. All right, Hood, HOOD. Just kind of messing around. Oh, nice pop. Nice pop in the post market. These guys actually hold just as much Bitcoin as MicroStrategy, but they won't say who they're holding it for. But that was interesting. So 14 and 15 on the upside. Right there, 15. And we'll see what happens. 14 will be where I expect it to pop to next. Disney working on pretty good reversal here. Upside resistance right around this 117 area. We stopped at 110 where I thought we would, and we busted right on through these. Kept on trucking. Next resistance right up there, 116, 117 area. And UPS has been looking pretty crap. Probably going down in a blaze of glory. This reminds me of the UNG chart. Shooting for the 125 area down here. And ARE. Gotta zoom that out. The last time I was really interested in this was over here, and we got it. And now, I don't know. Could go for another rip. We're gonna have to get below this zone right here. For this to come on down. This is commercial real estate investment. And it's a real estate investment trust, but they do commercial real estate. And as I was mentioning this morning, right here, pull this over. Class A office space, we have 18 years of supply. The dark blue is the current. The Class B office space has 23 years of supply. That's a lot of years of supply without adding anything new that we're sitting on in the commercial space. And then apartments, 6.5 years of apartments sitting there. Industrial, senior housing, storage, malls. This is till it's all full. Like there's actually 7 years of demand worth of senior housing sitting empty, which blows my mind that there would be that much. But or it's either sitting empty or in the works, I guess, being constructed. It doesn't really say. The chart I pulled this off of from Morgan Stanley Research didn't really explain what all goes into the supply, but that's a net absorption rate for. It's basically how much is sitting empty. Well, we've got all that empty since COVID, empty and built, and I don't know, looks pretty bad. Now retail, look, I mean, retail's getting soaked up. That's not the way. The storage is just kind of sitting flat. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. All right. I already did MSTR, DE, and I got to click on the right chart. DE, just chopping sideways down. Certainly doesn't look like cat. Cat ripping and bounce. Oh, man, look at that. Sometimes I get lucky. I don't know. Sometimes I draw exactly what's going to happen, and it does it. It surprises me. DE, I don't really expect that to do anything because it's just sideways. Chopping. They both do construction equipment. Deere is a little heavier in farm equipment than Cat is. They both do farm equipment. Funny enough, if you've never seen a Caterpillar farm tractor, it's pretty wild. Saw them out in West Memphis, Arkansas. For the first time in my life, at the Caterpillar dealer out there. All right, I just skipped a whole bunch and back to it. EWP. Yeah. Right back to the roadmap line. If it holds, bounce. If it doesn't, going down here. That would be Spain for you. EWZ. I see that one down the list. While I'm on it, add it. And return to the start. Foul. I did go long on this one and sitting like $100 underwater. Looking for it to pop to higher levels. CLF already did. Yep, that looks like it's topping out potentially. That's a lower high. Got to get above that to go anywhere. Otherwise, just sideways to down. PNC. Probably come back to the roadmap line. EU. That's low price stuff. Could it go higher? Sure. How much higher? Not a lot. I mean, maybe 6. I mean, it's like 50%, I guess. That's fair. Much like this, my more favorite uranium play, this one. 35, 40, but, you know, there again, that's not 50% gains either. So, CBRL, Cracker Barrel. Holding up so far. We break down below. Uptrend of the lows. We need to break below that to go lower. May not do it. Found resistance, lower high. Right there. Try it a second time. Getting held up by the uptrend line. It's gonna run out of gas here soon, or run out of runway, I guess you might say. Right there. Filling on out. Do we break down? Do we break out? I would bet down just because, and it may happen on earnings. You get another big earnings like we had over here. Like, oh, trying to chug that higher, kind of taking it back. We're flat. Coming into earnings here next week. What I talked about before, and I have one single put on this, but look at that. Look at the cogs. Whoops, right there. Look at the cogs. They get that much revenue and that much cost to just make that much revenue. They're running at a loss and not too good for Cracker Barrel. Tennessee company based in Lebanon, Tennessee. Actually building a building in Lebanon right now. Alrighty, moving on. DKNG. Remember, any tickers I review in a particular alert service or anything where I've done it more carefully, this is an entertainment show. This right here, and sometimes I go fast and quick and dirty. So anything I've said in other places, and that one busted right on through. So that one may go for the extension 48, but it may also break down and come right back there. So if I say anything in any other service that conflicts with what I said here, it's probably what I've said in the other service where I spent more time reviewing it carefully may take more precedence over what I say during 30 Minutes of Awesome, where I'm going as fast as I possibly can to try to get everybody's review. This, if it breaks down below here, probably come down here. And that's been pretty much, except for needing a reverse split, that's pretty much everything we look for on a dumpster fire. Just hasn't accelerated down towards 0. I would be careful on pin. UGA. University of Georgia. That looks like it's going nowhere. It's been nowhere for a long time. Continuing to go nowhere. That's just a big correction. I don't know. First drop, retrace, maybe go down, but I don't know. Doesn't have to. Gasoline futures are for going lower. So IJR, not one I recognize. Or that's just going sideways. Easy peasy. PSX, PlayStation, PSX. Right up to like 150, and that may pull back. It doesn't have to. It can go on higher, 167. The higher we go, the more likely it is to get a large pullback, outsized pullback. All right, BTBT. A little hard to read. Yeah. Stuck at the resistance. Stuck. Right there at the resistance. It cannot seem to break out. More resistance up here. Right up there. Right around 4. That's where I want to see it go to. Get above it. To go higher. 6, 7. And potentially the bigger targets like 12, 16, 20. Possibly even back to the high right back here. 30. Ridiculous levels. But it's got to get out of its own way first. All right. URNM. Uranium. Hey, y'all hyped up on this uranium stuff. That's resistance. Bouncing down. Could go for 66. If it's going to bounce here. If it breaks down. Probably not going to hold on to that roadmap line. It's probably going to go back down here if it breaks down. Bum, 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 1, 2. Curious. 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, now I got to do more work. Hold on. 2 for 1. I saw something. Yeah. Okay. Gotta draw more fibs now. Gotta turn on some other tools. This is likely to retrace to here. And then do that. And top out just higher. Right there. That would be what I would kind of expect because it has did this kind of bullish thing, this 3-wave corrective, this very bullish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, kind of extended a little bit. I don't have that perfectly up there. Very sloppy sometimes. This may stop right here. Could stop at the 236, which I don't have turned on. So that's the support level. And if we bounce from there, it could go even higher up here. Super helpful sometimes. There we go. Oh, you can play that way, huh? I'll do this. Somewhere in that zone would be where I expect it to top out. Probably not long-term bullish. I mean, well, I mean, that's bullish, but it's going to chop for a while and then pop probably. Dun, 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 dun. AXP. It's getting warm in here. It's right on the side of the building. Did expect this to top out right in here. 216, 239 above that. SWIN. Jeez, that's a dumpster fire. Whew. Golly. That looks like a horrible piece of crap. Dumpster fire. Don't trade that. Can you tell breakout and go? Or, and it's very overlappy. We're going to retrace deeper. That's a 3-wave right near the roadmap line. Could go on the next little run. 54, 57. If we could get momentum. I mean, look how bad this thing's lagging compared to the rest of AI. Can't get out of their own way. Their net income is going in the toilet. Price to sales at 3. It's so funny. Look at the price to sales ratio, 3.9 versus theirs is 40. Crazy. Even AMD sitting at 12. Yeah. Anyway. ACG. Oh. Watch out. That turned down at the resistance. Could go down to this area right there. Get below the roadmap line. Watch out below. How do you join Discord? You go to discord.com, make an account, put your phone number, email, and whatever in, make your account, secure it, use 2-factor authentication. Then go to the members area, members.prosperitypub.com, and click the button, join Discord, and get in there. And then you go to the rules channel and you read the rules, and you follow rule number 9, which has a link. You just click the button and you go to that channel. It'll tell you you can't see past history because you don't need to see other people's private information where I ask them questions and stuff. And if I ask you questions, you'll see the question. But put the information requested in rule number 9 into that channel, hit enter, and wait. Don't be impatient, and we'll get you verified, set up. But if I ask you a question, you got to answer me, because it means your information didn't match what I have on record. So anyway, that's how you get in Discord. Go to discord.com. It's pretty easy. And www.discord.com, like that. Right there, you click log in or make an account. Download. You can open a browser. Super easy. Make an account. Secure it. Attach it to your email. If you're like, well, I'm logged in. It says that like I already have an account. Cool. all you got to do is click the password recovery button right here, password recovery, right? And there's one of my example things right there. So, and if you're like, well, it won't let me get to this page, just go over here and open a new cognito window and make one. I'm talking to lots of people now. There you go. All right. That's how you get in Discord. Dun, 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 ADBE. You don't have to be computer savvy. It's just a communication tool. It's not social media. It's just a communication tool. Multimedia communication has video and audio and images and text, and I can link things, and very, very handy, very organized. I get a little frustrated when people get out of the place they're supposed to be talking in. Happened a couple times today. Looks like we may come back down to this zone right here. Takes my time to keep up with everything. All right. UEC. There's 30 minutes, and the market is back open. Futures market. UEC. Yeah, all over uranium today, huh? Probably gonna retrace. Yep. Looks like we're gonna retrace. Low price stuff doesn't always work though. And ANET. And watch out below. As I said this morning, everything that's ridiculous, everything that's gone up like in this, I mean, ignore the ANET on the screen. Anything that's done a chart pattern that's like this is highly likely to do that. At least back to a 618. Back to this area right here. Take the first point at the low over here, second point at the high up here. We're likely to retrace back down in this zone. Well, it could be the 50%, like back in this zone right here. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be ANET, could be NVIDIA, could be SMCI, whatever. When it tops, we're likely to come back to here, if not all the way back down. All right, everybody clear? That's how that works. It doesn't matter what the ticker is. Same pattern all the time. That's how I get it. That's how I know what's happening. And if we break down below this zone, coming down here, going lower. Highly likely. Fascinating, right? See that going whoop at some point in time. Some point in time. Not seeing now. Could be from up here. When we drop. And I gotta turn off all these fibs. It's gonna drive me crazy. Some point in time, we're gonna come back and revisit this area. And it goes up if we go up higher. So we start coming back down. They come right back down in here. Everybody see it? All right. Moving on. Moving on. CLF, already did that one, I'm pretty sure. Don't have to request them again. Airbnb, did that one this morning. And it looks kind of lame. I have to be completely honest. This looks like 5 waves up. It may do a retrace. It could continue on up. Possibly as high as here, but then it's likely to do that same retrace chunk I was just talking about. Where we come right back down to the roadmap line again, right in that zone. Before we go up for the bigger move. And it had opportunity to get super bullish before and decided to be stupid and choppy and corrective and find a lot of resistance at this area, which makes me think that we're going to turn down again from that same area, maybe marginally push higher, retrace again. So I'm not as uber speedily bullish as I used to be on Airbnb at this point. Could it change my mind again? Sure, but right now, not overly enthusiastic. I ran out of time, and I'm moving on. I'm not going to trade it for now. Light, right back down. That one did a potential measured bounce. $618. I bought up here, but we retraced a little bit today. We break back above here. Potential to go on up. It's kind of line in the sand above 52. Could be going up. How high? How high does she go? Look at that right there. 77. It's pretty dang close. How long? September? I don't know. That's my educated wild guess. Might take a while. Roblox. I was kind of bearish on this, and they're losing a lot of money. They bring in a ton of revenue and still lose tons of money. It's not the most bullish setup there ever was. Significant resistance breaking above that. Look. It's tried once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. It's tried to get in there. Probably going down again. Alrighty. Roku. Just did that. Just did Roku. Pretty sure. SUI, USD. Let's go with that one. Not really anything to work with. Missed. Maybe $2. Maybe. At some point, it's going to do a bigger retrace. All right. That's that one. And VIX. VIX doesn't play by the rules, the same rules as everybody else. You can't, like, it's not a trending thing, so 12 is the floor. Looks like we could be done for today, or for this move. I was expecting something in that 15 to 20 area, and that qualified. So that may be it for now. We were getting bigger and bigger moves up. That may be it. We retrace before we get the next one. Sometime. And my contract expired tomorrow morning. So it was game over on that one. That's why that line was there. I had to close it before the close. Took like a it was almost a $700 loss I took on my February contracts, but I have 40 March contracts. I only had 8 February contracts. So I got 40 March contracts, and they're almost making up for what I was down. I do think the S&P, we're probably going to do this again before we do that. Probably do another pullback. Yep. Probably come right back down and then shoot up again. Man, look at that. Look how consistent that's been. Even though the market hadn't been doing anything crazy. It's kind of wild. Anyway, moving on. Can't chart VIX the same way because it's not a trending thing. It has a resting area of 9 to 12. It's not going to 0. Chesapeake has broken down. retested the roadmap line. Sets the odds to going down to 70. ARM has been doing that ridiculous thing and probably going to come back down. I would expect it to come right back down here at some point in the future. I'm going to set an alert right there. We'll see. I bet you it comes back down. Shopify. Probably coming down the roadmap line. It could be an echo, but looks like it's probably going to come back to the roadmap line. Bum, 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 bum. Every bubble finds a pin. That's right. Every bubble finds the end at some point or another. This is just the first phase of AI. Like, it's not even... We're going to go through... Everything's the hype right now. Anybody remember the .com thing? Like, you could put .com after anything. Paper.com, rocks.com, whatever.com, and pets.com famously. You could put .com after anything, and people would throw money at you. You can go public with it. You come with your idea, get it all registered, set up a crappy website, go public, make a crap ton of money, your stock goes crazy, and then that all came to an end. That's exactly what AI is doing right now. Everybody comes up with AI, anything, and their stock goes crazy. U.S. Steel looks like it's coming back down. That deal coming apart with all the potential buyers. And the Nippon deal too risky. Yeah, it's probably just not going to happen, and it's probably going to come back down. Hog, Harley Davidson, Hog, Harley Davidson. It's just not interesting. It's just going sideways. It didn't even reverse in like a bullish way. It just sideways. Once, twice, 3 times. Do we get lucky and break out? I don't know. That's not the kind of thing right there. Zillow. Oh, pop on earnings. That may be the retrace. It's going to hang right in that prior resistance zone. I'd watch out for that one. Turn down, go on. Got to remove drawings so you can see it more clearly. Retrace back to here. Potential for that to go down. That would be like 3. It's a little aggressive. Right back up here. And the final flush out right there. That would be what I would expect, but may just hit the roadmap line and that'd be it. But if it breaks out, the upside would be here and here. That's what we got on Zillow. APLD. Sideways. Break out of that box. We're going back to the lows. ZM is just at the lows and consolidating, going nowhere. Right now, it's got the setup to go down to 56, potentially a call. It doesn't look like they're going too hard on anything right there. Going hard on breaking out to go down. $98. ZS 270. Watch out for the retrace. You can watch Morning Monster. All you gotta do is go to the channel and click the button. Morning Monster's there. Every Morning Monster I've ever done for the last year is on there. Every 30 Minutes of Awesome that I've done for the last 2.5 years is on there. So there's the probably gonna retrace at some point. That's another one going stupid crazy up. But the thing is, I mean, seen this before. You get a retrace and keep going crazy and get a retrace and then get a big retrace. Like, yeah, but it's not like it was back here in 21. Well, okay. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. They look a lot like that. We're just a little bit higher. But what happened then? And then one of these days we're gonna run out of room and it's not going higher. Already did. I've already talked about NVIDIA ad nauseum. GIB. 116 on the upside, downside 100-ish. AM probably going to break on down. See all these highs. Get below that. Come on down. Back into the chop. DPZ. Upside resistance. Downside target. Maybe even downside target. Okay, is there a setting to ensure every time a video comes on, the video does not restart all the way back at the beginning of the show? I'm not sure what you mean by that. You can click the live button and jump to wherever the live is while I'm live. And LOL is not a ticker, Mary. Indy. Anyway. All right, everybody. That comes to the end of the list. Thanks for coming. Thanks for playing. And Apple has been lame. Google looks like he wants to correct on down. Microsoft, he wants to correct on down. Meta, Mama Net, Amazon, NVIDIA. Everything's cooked, man. Tesla. Alrighty. I'll be back live in the morning. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the button with right over here. Dumpster fire playing right there. Make sure that you hit the button right over here. Hit the button. Be a subscriber. Hit the bell with the notifications so you get notified when I go live every time. And I'll see you in the morning. Bye for now, everybody.